Hey guys, so this is me finally doing this YouTube channel that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and this is my first ever YouTube video. So hi guys, I thought I could share with you guys how I found out I was 6 months pregnant. Yeah. So let's get to that. I actually found out I was 6 months pregnant in May of 2020, last year. So, November 2019 was actually the last time I had my period. And I just want to point it out there that I do have a history of not having period for 2 months, or even one time I didn't have period for 3 months. And also, I am anemic. So, when I didn't have my period for a few months, I didn't really think into it. November 2019 around to March of 2020, I was honestly going through one of the most lowest of the lows in my life. I was going through something very stressful. I wasn't okay. I wasn't mentally okay. I wasn't emotionally okay. I was just going through something. So I was thinking maybe that was playing a big part in why I wasn't getting my period in those few months. I was also just smoking cigarettes like crazy. I wasn't much of a drinker that time, but I was just smoking a lot. But actually, in February of 2020, at the end of February, I remember I decided to take a pregnancy test. Because, of course, like, I still thought maybe it's a possibility, so I decided to do a pregnancy test. And what I did wrong was I only bought one pregnancy test when I should have bought like two or three more pregnancy tests to make sure. And so I did it, and it came out negative. So when it came out negative, I was like, okay, I'm in the clear. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not pregnant.
You were wrong.
So there must be something else going on. And I should have gone to the doctor, but I didn't go to the doctor. And that was another mistake that I did. It's like I was just going through so many things in my life around that time that I didn't even think to go to the doctor. I didn't even prioritize to go to the doctor, which I should have. So came in May. May was the month when I really started to notice things that could really lead to the possibility that I was pregnant. Mostly was the movement in my tummy. I felt like there were like little worms moving in my tummy, though I didn't see any movements. Like when I look at my tummy, I didn't see much movement. I felt like little worms were moving inside me, and I was like, what the going on? So I was freaking out, and I started to feel like there were moments that I would feel tightness around my tummy, and I'm assuming that's Braxton Hicks contractions that I was experiencing, but I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know what was going on. But one thing I really noticed was I started to have that hairline on my tummy. I didn't even have a baby bump. Like, I would say like I had a small bump, like a small one, but I thought maybe it's from staying at home all day, eating nonstop. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm gaining all this weight and I'm just eating nonstop. I remember just like eating less, just trying to lose all this weight that I was gaining. I was eating so healthy. I was eating less rice and stuff like that, just so that I could lose the weight that I was gaining. I finally found a job in May. I found a job in a restaurant, and I was so happy. And so, in my new job, everything was going well. And 2 weeks into my new job, I remember it was of May 29th. My phone died, so 29th of May that I started feeling really nauseated, feeling like I wanted to vomit, feeling like feeling really dizzy. And so I called my work. I was like, I can't go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna go to the hospital to get checked. And so 30th of May, I went to the hospital. I checked in, and then soon after, they asked me to go to the triage area. And then the nurse was, of course, checking my blood pressure. asked me like how was I feeling, what was going on, and so I told her, I feel nauseated, I feel like I want to vomit, and she was like, when was the last time you had your period? I was like, November 2019, and then she was like, okay, just here's a cup and you pee in it, and so peed in a cup, gave it to the nurse, and then soon after I got called to see the doctor. And I told him the same thing. I told the nurse, and also I haven't had my period. I took a pregnancy test. So he's like, okay, so we have your urine sample, and so we'll call you for your name. And so went back, and I remember while I was waiting for my name to be called, I was messaging my sister. I was freaking out. I was telling her, like if I'm pregnant, then I'm pregnant. If I'm not, then something else is going on. At that point, I'd rather be pregnant than having some crazy medical thing going on with my body. It took a while, like probably an hour, 30 minutes for my name to be called. They called me, and then I sat down. I remember it so vividly. It was in Queen Mary Hospital. Doctor was there. I was sitting on the chair, and then he was like, well, you're pregnant. And I was like, oh, my mind was like,
the prophecy is true.
like, holy in my mind. But then outside I was like, oh, okay. It was like, okay, so we're gonna do an ultrasound on you right now. And I was like, okay. I was just trying to keep my cool, like, as much as possible, even though in my head was like telling you guys about it now, it's just like bringing me back, and I'm just feeling all the emotions, and I'm just like freaking the freak out. So he's like, okay, you gotta lie down. I lay down, lifted my shirt. He was doing the ultrasound, and he was like, oh, there's the baby. He was showing me through the monitor, like, that's your baby. And then I was like, is there a way to find out if it's a girl or boy? He's like, can't really tell. And so I was like, okay. And then he was like, but the heartbeat of the baby is very healthy. And I swear to God, when he told me that the heartbeat of the baby was healthy, I was so happy. I was so happy, because the shit that I was doing to my body, and then to find out that my baby was actually healthy, and that was the only thing I wanted to hear. That's the only thing I wanted to know. Like, my baby was actually healthy. So after the ultrasound, the doctor was like, okay, here's a referral letter for the antenatal hospital. That's where you're gonna have your checkups from here on, to check how far along you are, to monitor the health of your baby. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. And then soon after everything was done with the doctor, I called my sister soon after, and I was crying, and I was telling her, dude, I'm pregnant. Like, she was just so supportive. She was so supportive. She was like saying, we can get through this. You're gonna be okay. So I found out I was pregnant at the end of May. Then I found out how far along I was around June. And that was when my tummy started to really pop. Like, after I found out I was pregnant, the very next day, my tummy just got big. Like, it was like, I finally accepted I was pregnant, and my tummy just came out right after. And then yes. Then I started to feel her kicks. Like, I really started to feel her kicks. And then I really, of course, tried to bond with her as much as possible. And it was in June that I found out that I was not just a few weeks pregnant, I was months pregnant. And they did ultrasounds, and apparently she was an SGA. I forgot what SGA really means, but from basically meant she was a small baby. And there was no way that I could find out what gender she was. she or he was. So I only found out that it was a girl when I gave birth. And so I didn't really get to fully enjoy being pregnant. I had to have my labor induced because she was an SGA, so she had to be brought out earlier than usual, not at 39 weeks. She was born at 37 weeks. So I had my labor induced and I gave birth on the 30th of July at 2:44 a.m. It was honestly like the most painful thing that I've ever gone through in my whole life. It was hard because when she came out, she wasn't breathing, so I didn't really get to hold her because they had to take care of her. So I only got to really see her in the few hours after that. I had to visit her in the SIBU. She had things in her nose, for oxygen, and but you can see how healthy she is right now. Yes, she's 10 months old. She's very healthy and very talkative, and I'm so glad everything went well. I honestly wish I found out I was pregnant from the very beginning. If I knew I was pregnant, I would have quit smoking right away. I would have not drank. I would have eaten healthier. I would have gone on longer walks. I would have taken, prenatal pills. Because in those 2 months of June and July of being pregnant, I enjoyed every single bit of it. And it was just sad to have only experienced 2 months of it. Even though I never planned on getting pregnant. Those 2 months were one of the greatest moments in my life, and I wish I could have experienced the full 9 months of it. But I'm just so glad that she turned out okay. I'm just glad that she's healthy, and that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope this wasn't too much of a crazy story to share as my first YouTube video. Leave your comments or whatsoever, and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to post more videos like this in the future. And thank you so much if you have watched the video to this very end, and see you guys next time. Bye.